Hello and welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital. We begin with national matters. Vice President Kashim Shettima has said President Bola Tinubu is committed to economic reforms that prioritize inclusion, growth, and bridge financial gaps across the country. Shettima said this when he inaugurated the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion at the State House, Abuja. The statement was contained in excerpt of discussion titled Vice President Shettima reaffirms President Tinubu's resolve to bridge financial gaps. The event also witnessed the signing of an investment agreement by private sector stakeholders to provide foundational infrastructure needed for the full operation of the ASO Accord initiative. The technical advisor to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion, Dr. Nuruddin Zauro, and the President CEO, IQS Africa Limited, Professor Emmanuel Itapson, signed for the federal government and the private sector respectively. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony and sign-off of the investment commitment at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, the Vice President called on all stakeholders to support the government's efforts at bridging financial gaps for millions of unbanked citizens. The House of Representatives Committee on Insurance and Actuarial Matters has adopted the 2024 budget's performance and the 2025 budget estimate of the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, and the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. The separate budget estimates were adopted after presentation by the Commissioner for Insurance, Olusegun Ayi, and the Managing Director of NDIC, Bello Azan, at the budget defense held by the committee on Monday. Earlier in his presentation, the MD of NDIC, Bello Azan, informed the committee that NDIC is a self-funding agency. He, however, assured that on the 2025 budget estimate, the NDIC intends to generate a gross income of 433.9 billion naira before target funding. In his presentation also, NICOM's Commissioner for Insurance, Olusegun Ayi, informed the committee of his commission's budget estimate of 29.931 billion naira for 2025 fiscal year.
Our budget, based on the prorated, that's January to September, prorated, we are supposed to have realized 227.3 billion. But based on the actual year to the September, we'll be able to realize 251.43 billion, which represented our 110% performance. Carrying to September position is very much like that, a very impressive performance. So the net operating income after provision for target funding, the budgeted prorated, that is January to September, was supposed to be 195.4 billion. What we recorded was 219.57 billion. As of September, we transferred to Consolidated Revenue Fund 109.7 billion, being the 50% of the income that accrued to the corporation. Consequently, 109.78 was what was available for us to finance our operations, and whatever surplus is left to be transferred to Consolidated Revenue Fund.
Next to that is also our desire to focus on consumer protection, because we believe that the consumers of insurance products desire some protection from the regulator, and this aligns with that number one priority. The second priority, Mr. Chairman, is the desire for us to enhance the capacity of the regulator, that's the National Insurance Commission, to be able to regulate a bit more effectively. And this we find its root in the first item I touched on when I was introducing, which is the legal regulatory framework. We are eagerly looking forward to the final passage, of this bill to enable us to have that capacity. Closely related to that is the desire of the Commission to entrench and be able to supervise clear safety and soundness of our entities. To this end, we've rolled out, even within existing laws, a solvency control and intervention framework, which will enable us to be able to address some of the teething challenges entities are having.
The committee adopted the 2025 budget proposals by both commissions after a voice vote by the chairman of the committee, Ahmed Jaha Babawu.
New Generation Agency. But because of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, that cajole almost everybody, regardless of whether you are a revenue generation agency or you are a regulatory agency, you have been described as one. In other words, one cap fits all. That 50% must be deducted from source that can be transmitted directly to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government. So we have not made it official, but we are working assiduously to make government understand there is a clear difference between a revenue generation agency or government-owned enterprise and that of regulatory agency. This commission is charged with the responsibility of regulating the insurance industry in the country. And we are all aware, insurance contribution to our GDP, there is nothing to write home about. We are all aware. So there is a need for the regulator to be strengthened so that people can have confidence in the industry.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control Southeast Zone has carried out a raid in the Kumi Drug Market, Aba, Abia State, in search of unregistered and banned products. The Deputy Director in charge of monitoring and enforcement and Federal Task Force South-South-Southeast, Omoyeni Babatunji, said on Monday the exercise was a national assignment aimed at making the market free from all unwholesome products. He explained that the assignment, which is an inter-agency collaboration between NAFDAC and security agencies, was going at 3 different locations in the zone simultaneously. Babatunde revealed that large quantities of banned and unregistered products were in the market, adding that shops in the area would be screened one after the other. We move to the Lagos State House of Assembly, where the Speaker of the House, Mojisola Miranda, on Monday called for an exchange program between the Swedish and Lagos parliaments. Miranda made the call during a visit by the Swedish ambassador, Mrs. Han England, to Nigeria. The Speaker, who maintained that both Nigeria and Sweden have always had robust business relationships, urged the diplomat to ensure that more Swedish businesses come into Nigeria. GAVI has officially handed over the Memorandum of Understanding for the 3-year primary healthcare initiative to the Bayelsa State Government. The handover ceremony was done in Yenugwa with the theme Primary Healthcare MoU Initiative Progress and the Way Forward, signed by the Governor Duye Diri in partnership with GAVI and UNICEF. The MoU focused on strengthening immunization, maternal and child healthcare, and disease prevention. This marks the successful closeout of the program, with stakeholders commending the progress made in improving healthcare services across the state. Over the past 3 years, the initiative has enhanced vaccine availability, trained healthcare workers, and improved access to quality medical care. Immunization coverage increased significantly, leading to a reduction in child mortality rates.
The prosperity government has premium from primary health care. Not only primary health care generally. And that is why the state government, in partnership with the local government, whose responsibility it is to provide primary health care, has not shied away from discharging its responsibilities. It is on that note, His Excellency the Deputy Governor asked me to appreciate all the critical stakeholders, particularly GAVI and UNICEF, for all the successes that you have recorded.
We want a situation where if we have a public health emergency, everybody goes to the primary healthcare facility. Therefore, like what is happening now with the cholera outbreak, we are in a state and we have not lost anybody in any of our primary healthcare facilities. Support
partners, friends, politicians, well-meaning organizations that could just do CSRO, their corporate social responsibility, and also use that to fund healthcare. And I think if we do that and all of us understanding that extra bit of it, then would have said we'll make success and enroll more persons. Remember again, the more persons we have in the insurance scheme, the more stable the insurance scheme is, and the better the premium and services it will offer.
We have an MoU. We say that GAVI through UNICEF will strengthen the primary care system for 3 years. It's like a show and tell. The expectation is for the government to take over from where we stopped. We've demonstrated that if we invest, we are going to get results.
I would say it has been an excellent outing. This collaboration has been beyond words. It has saved countless lives and reassured the people that the government cares and the partnership is one that works. Once you get quality health delivery, you are bound to enjoy a more fulfilled life.
In Rivers State, the opposition coalition has said no Supreme Court judgment was delivered against the governor of the state, Similaye Fubara, and the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Honorable Oko Jumbo, as peddled by some disgruntled elements. While clarifying today's court's verdict, the opposition lawmaker said that contrary to insinuation and rumors churned out in certain quarter, the governor of the state, Similaye Fubara, and the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Honorable Oko Jumbo, are still in charge in control of the state government and legislature in the South State. The opposition lawmakers coalition said this through its spokesperson, Honorable Ikenga Ugochinyere. He says, rather than being against the judgment, it is in favor of Governor Fubara, as it was predicated on his withdrawal of the appeal through his lead counsel, Yusuf Ali SAN. According to him, Fubara did not lose any case at the Supreme Court. He withdrew his appeal over the 2024 budget, which was already spent and executed.
As you people can remember, there was contention over where the budget of 2024 last year should be presented. That matter went to Supreme Court. But during the pendency of that matter, 2024 expired. The budget of 2024 fully passed, fully spent, and fully executed by the government of led by Governor Fubara. So the question you ask yourself, if 2024 have passed, if the budget of 2024 was passed, if the budget of 2024 was executed, why should we be in Supreme Court fighting over where we should present, or whether we should present or represent a 2024 budget? It's like going to court to say where 1982 budget should be presented. Presented for who? The money has been spent, it has been executed. So even if you say you want to present it to who? But it's about income and expenditure. The income are people going to repay new taxes there? So because that budget has been well spent and well executed, and the massive project is all over there in Rivers, the Trans-Calabari Highway, and numerous projects, now there was no need to continue that case at the Supreme Court. So what the lawyers to Governor of Rivers State did was to withdraw the appeal, because there's nothing we're appealing against. 2024 is gone. 2025 has been passed. 2025 is what is being executed as we speak now. So it was a mere total academic essay, and that is why they discontinued that process. And in that case, the court will normally strike it out. So where is the victory?
We take a pause here. News story from the build sector will be up next. Stay with us. You are still watching Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Now to the build sector. The federal government has finalized plans to restore 100 million hectares of land with a focus on combating desertification and promoting sustainable land management across the Sahel region. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, highlighted Nigeria's commitment to the Great Green Wall Initiative during the Pan-African Agency of the Great Green Wall session in Dakar, Senegal. He, however, emphasized that the government aims to restore targeted hectares of land across the country by 2030, stressing the need for African nations to collaborate in tackling climate change and land degradation challenges. He urged for more funding and support from international partners to ensure the success of the agency, a key African Union initiative aimed at transforming the Sahel through the Great Green Wall project. The Ministry of Finance, Incorporated, MoFI, has launched a 100 billion Series 2 offering under the MREIF following the full subscription of 150 billion naira for Series 1 on December 20, 2024. This, however, brings the total initial funding for MREIF to 250 billion naira. However, Series 2 is a public-private partnership PPP involving fund managers, financiers, fund advisors, and trustees aimed at creating job opportunities. Speaking at the launch of Series 2 on Monday, Wale Edu said the milestone marks a major step towards addressing Nigeria's housing deficit and expanding access to affordable home ownership. MREIF aims to raise 1 trillion naira to transform Nigeria's housing sector, making home ownership more accessible. The fund offers affordable mortgage rates with up to 25-year repayment terms and interest rates between 11 to 12%, well below the current commercial rates. The FCT Police Command has recovered an additional 10 stolen manhole covers, bringing the total number of retrieved covers to 125 in a decisive move against infrastructure vandalism. The Police Public Relations Officer for the FCT Command, SP Josephine Ade, in a statement said that the crackdown on vandals highlights the command's unwavering commitment to targeting criminals involved in the destruction and theft of public assets. She, however, confirmed that the stolen items were recovered in Dede on February 4th, 2025, following an intelligence-led operation and a tip-off from a vigilant informant highlighting the importance of public cooperation in crime fighting. The Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Dusu, warned vandals and those trading stolen public properties, reaffirming the command's commitment to ending infrastructure theft. He, however, commended residents for their support and urged continued vigilance to protect public assets and ensure safety in the FCT. Following persistent cases of accidents at its current location within the heart of the town, the Ekiti State Government has ordered the immediate relocation of the central market at Iworoko Ekiti in Irepodo and Ifelodo local government areas of the state. The Ekiti State Deputy Governor, Chief Monisa Afoye, gave the directive in Ado-Ekiti on Monday during an interaction with concerned stakeholders and landowners from the community. Sequel to the recurrent cases of auto crashes and attendant carnages in Iworoko Central Market, Governor Biodun Oyebanje a couple of months ago directed the composition of a committee headed by his deputy to resolve the issues, dodging the relocation of the market to another location within the town. The composition of the committee stemmed from the mounting opposition from the Arijale family of the Iworoko community, who claimed that the proposed land where the market is to be relocated to belongs to them. From the foreign scene, the 4-story, 95-unit mixed-use building construction has been completed on Arts Plaza Apartments in Gasham, arrayed by the Ripskip Kapala Development and Capstone Partners. Team Construction and MAW Architects led the construction efforts for the $26 million project located at 492 Northeast 2nd Street. The development, however, is 16 miles from Gesham and less than 30 minutes east of Portland, managed by Clothesden Arts Plaza. The apartments consist of 20 studios, 48 one-bedroom units, 21 two-bedroom, 3 three-bedroom homes, and 5 live work units. The Arts Plaza apartments, ranging from 442 to 1,172 square meters feet, aim to revitalize the downtown Gershom. The project, led by Gibson Kapla Development, collaborates with the city and community to bring new housing and energy to the area. Hamas announces next hostage release, scheduled for Saturday the 15th of February, has been postponed until further notice, with accusation bordering on Israel's break of the Gaza ceasefire deal. Israel described the postponement as a complete violation of the ceasefire and called on the Israeli military to prepare for any possible scenario in Gaza. The statement was contained in a post on X handle of Abu Obadiah, spokesperson for the Qassam Brigade, Hamas armed wing. Over the past 3 weeks, the leadership of the resistance has monitored the enemy's violation and its failure to comply with the terms of the agreement. This violation includes delaying the return of displaced persons to northern Gaza, targeting them with shelling and gunfire in various areas of the Strip, and failing to allow the entry of humanitarian aid in all its agreed-upon forms. Meanwhile, the resistance has fully honored its commitments. That's the much we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. Calls for exchange program between Lagos and Swedish Parliament. From the foreign scene, construction completes on Portland area community. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store and Apple Store. I am Ubong Usora. Bye for now.
Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts. On Facebook, Housing TV Africa. On Twitter, Housing TV Africa. Instagram, Housing TV Africa.
Housing TV Africa, your first in housing development broadcasting.